So hopefully that will help you guys understand that. Thank you, Kyle. Hopefully that'll help you guys understand why we do our approach how we do and why it's so important to use the same exact approach every single time in the same exact order, right? So I can't really say there's a most important part of the demo because it's all important, but the approach is the first most important part, because without the approach, you don't get to build the need, you don't get to protect a family, right? So the approach is super important. Without the approach, you don't even need to worry about the rest of it because you'll never get there. Now I'm gonna open this up. I have a question for you guys. And if you've gone through Sales Academy with me, you definitely know the answer to this question. What is the purpose of the approach?
To get a sit down.
To get a sit down.
To get a sit down. Right. We're not trying to sell a policy yet. We're not trying to tell them everything about the policy yet. We're just trying to get a sit down. So with that mindset, you guys, it doesn't matter what objection they throw at you. I have Aflac. Is this insurance? What are you selling? I'm busy. It doesn't matter what they say. We're just trying to get them to sit down. Who cares if they're not interested in buying something, right? We're just trying to sit down. No big deal. Now I want you guys to put yourself in the prospect's shoes. So keep in mind, guys, it's a business. We're walking into people's businesses. It is normal for human beings to walk in and out of businesses all day, every day. And business owners and managers are used to working with salespeople. You're probably the 5th salesperson to come through these doors this week. So it's not that weird, right? This is a very normal occurrence for owners, managers, and employees. So as soon as someone walks into their business, they're thinking, okay, is this a customer? Do I have to do my customer service voice? No, not a customer. Okay, who are you? What company are you with? Which one of my vendors are you? Are you the one I had an appointment with, or are you that other guy? Like, which one are you? Why are you here? Why should I care? Okay, you're not a vendor I work with already. Why should I care? What are you selling? How long is this going to take? So they've got all these questions kind of rolling around in their head as soon as you walk through the door. And our approach is designed to answer all these questions as they come up. Another thing to keep in mind, we're approaching people at work, of course, so they might be kind of busy. They might be working. Now, what we do is more important than whatever they're doing, for sure, most of the time, unless you're like talking to a surgeon in the middle of a surgery that, you can come back later for that. But if they're just stocking the shelves or leaning on the counter, what we're doing is more important than that. And we need to have that confidence that we're supposed to be here. What we do matters.
Yeah, no problem. See you later. Thank you.
Help them out. All right, cool. Okay, so we're supposed to be here. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. Alrighty, so yeah, not that weird of a thing. And our approach does a really good job of answering these questions in a timely fashion while respecting their time. If we stick to the approach. If we stick to the approach, it does a great job of answering these questions and respecting their time. And if we don't stick to the approach, who knows what's going to happen? It could get off into left field and kind of waste their time real quick, right? I want to talk to you guys about the words we say, why they're important. And guys, nothing in our sales talk is arbitrary or random or superfluous. It's all essential. Every single word in our script is there for a reason. Every single pause and comma and weird way of saying things is there for a reason. So when we say breaking the ice, that is section 1 of your script. Why would you skip section 1? That doesn't make sense. Make sure you don't skip breaking the ice. That's insanely important. That's the whole first section. Hey, how's it going? Short conversation if applicable. So where it says short conversation with if applicable, definitely say something. You could say, hey, how long have you worked here? Happy Friday. It's Friday, guys. Go walk in. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. How's your morning so far? Has it been crazy? You can just say something, anything. It's just be a human being. You guys have all been making friends and having conversations your entire lives. So breaking the ice is a very normal thing that you guys all know how to do. And the reason we do that, instead of just skipping section 1 and going straight to section 2, the approach, is because we want to show we're a human being. We're not just a salesperson with the intention of selling them a policy or giving them a quick pitch. We're a human being trying to get them to sit down. And that's not weird. That's not salesy. That's just a regular thing that people do every day. But please do not skip breaking the ice. If you skip breaking the ice, it can lead to a higher percentage of essentially people saying they're not interested and kind of telling you to move on with your day, right?
Maria,
And we
can
don't
I
want
add
that.
to that real quick?
Sure.
Y'all understand you have to sell yourself before you can get to sit down and sell any products. And being a human being, like Maria's talking about, that's the most vital thing. And you do have to sell yourself first. Be a real human being. Don't be the insurance salesperson. But just put some good thought into that because see a lot of people, they just walk in and go straight into, hey, I'm Mikey with Globe Life Family Heritage Division, blah 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 blah. Y'all like that's salesy. Be a human first. So you have to sell yourself first as a human being. People will decide in the first 5 to 10 seconds of meeting you if they want to continue to have a conversation with you or not. So just make a note of that.
Right. Yeah. And that's not meant to be, high pressure, like, oh, you only have 5 seconds, but just be a human being. If you get them to like you, I always say get them to smile. If you can get them to smile, crack a grin, relax a little bit, then you probably have done a decent job of breaking that ice. Because, the last thing you want them to think is that you're like some angry customer who wants to see the manager or something. Like, no, hey, I'm a friendly person. This is a good thing, right?
Yeah,
Don't
and one of my
skip it.
favorite quotes is by Zig Ziglar. Sorry, Maria, but this is, I hope everybody writes this down. And it's, if people like you, they'll listen to you. If they trust you, they'll do business with you. So put that in your bank there. And yeah, it will definitely improve your efforts out there.
Good quote. They need to like you and trust you. Okay, the other words we say, our name and our company. Now, obviously, I don't think any of you are skipping this on purpose, but sometimes you do, and you go through the whole approach and they're like, wait, who do you work with? What's your name? What do you do? So you definitely want to say your name and your company and ask them their name before you get too far into what exactly you do. First of all, that's the polite thing. That's the normal human thing. And that, again, that shows you're a human being before being a salesperson. It's normal to introduce yourself to another person, do a little small talk before diving right into business. And if you don't say your name and the company you're with kind of on the front end of the approach, then they're just thinking the whole time, which one of my vendors is this? Wait, did I have a meeting? Am I confused? Am I forgetting something? And they're just not going to hear a word you say. And then that's why you're having to use so many approaches just to get a sit down. So another note on the approach, once you get through breaking ice and get to the approach, your tone and pace should be low and slow. And I know that's tough when you're brand new and you memorized all this stuff and you're trying really hard to say it before you forget it. But do your best to speak at a slower pace than you think you need to. Because remember, their brain is processing. And their brain cannot process as fast as you can say a quickly memorized thing. So that's really important, guys. If you think you're talking the right speed, you're probably talking too fast. And if you feel like you're talking really slow, you're probably talking at the right pace. So just keep that in mind. When we say, sorry, I'm talking so fast, that's supposed to be like a little ironic, like you're not really talking that fast. You know what I mean? I've been talking with all the businesses here in my territory. Why do you think we mention that instead of just saying, hey, I'm here to see you, right? We're trying to communicate to them that we are supposed to be here. This is our job. We are in charge of talking to all the businesses. It is our job to meet with businesses, right? That way they know we're not singling them out. Now, why do we say businesses instead of owners or managers? That keeps our options open. That keeps our potential pool of demos open, guys. Because think about it, between owners, managers, and employees, who's capable of getting cancer or having an accident or heart attack?
Everybody.
All of them.
Everybody, right? So don't limit your prospect pool to just the owners or just the managers, because everybody needs what we do. And that's what's so great about what we do is there's really an unlimited pool of prospects for us. So you can say, hey, I'm Maria with Family Heritage right here in Charlotte, talking with all the businesses. Please do not say going around. That for some reason just creeps into everyone's vocabulary, and it just sounds to the business owner or manager or employee that you just randomly happen to stop in there like a paper bag in the wind and you're really not sure how you ended up there. That doesn't sound like you're a professional. It sounds kind of weird, quite frankly. So don't say you're going around. Use precise language. I'm in charge of. I'm talking with all the businesses. I'm meeting with all the businesses. But use precise language. Every single word, again, in our approach is there for a reason. Similarly, when I say I just got done meeting with, and you probably know some of our clients, and then we click on the umbrella on the top left of our screen and we show our names list, this proves that we are telling the truth, that we do in fact work with other businesses, and it's not weird for us to be talking to them. So like Brad was saying, it builds trust. This is super, super important that we don't skip that. Otherwise, they're like, okay, why are you talking to me? What's so special about me? What does that have to do with anything? Well, I'm talking to all the businesses. You're a business. I'm here. It makes sense, right? This isn't weird. But if you skip any of these sections, there's a piece of the puzzle missing in the employee or owner or manager's head that you're talking to, and they're kind of like, wait, I don't understand. Why are you here talking to me? How long is this going to take? Sorry, I'm talking so fast. I just get a couple minutes. And guys, when you say that, you want to say, sorry, I'm talking so fast. I just get a couple minutes. Even if you're not wearing a watch, still tap your wrist. I just get a couple minutes. Why do we do that? Apologizing makes them feel forgiving towards you. Like, sorry, I'm talking so fast. Usually when I say that, before I even get the whole sentence out, they're like, oh, it's okay. Makes them just give you some grace, even though you're really not talking that fast. It's okay. And you're letting them know you won't be here all day. You're not the Kirby vacuum guy who's going to camp out in their living room for 3 hours, right? This is going to be pretty quick, right? Body language is huge here. And then asking for a sit down. This is super important, guys. This is your transitionary statement from we're standing up talking, it's all theoretical, to it's called a call to action. This is the whole point of what we're doing here. We're not just here to chit chat and tell them about policies. We're not even mentioning the word supplemental insurance in the approach. We're just asking for a place to sit down at this point. And when we say this, guys, there's a big difference in saying, well, if you're not too busy, could we maybe sit down, to do you have a place we can sit down, and starting to walk over to a chair or an office or something. Action creates action. When you're walking in, just the way you're kind of scanning the room to see like what's something I can build rapport about, you should also be scanning the room. Where is somewhere we can sit down? So that when it comes time to say that line, you know exactly where to go and you can start walking over there. Because if you just stand there and stare at them, like, do you have a place we can sit down, and don't move, they're gonna be like, what are you maybe, So if you move, if you start walking, they're gonna either start walking with you or they're gonna give you an objection, and it's gonna move this thing right along. But even though it's phrased as a question, it's toned as a suggestion. So it's not, do you have a place we can sit down? It's, do you have a place we can sit down, and start walking over there. We're kind of suggesting it. We're not asking their permission. So now to kind of put it all together, guys, and whenever I practice the approaches in class, we always stand up for the approach. So Brad, if you are still on, you're going to be my prospect. Let's see. There's a lot of people on this. Brad, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know you've got a lion in your background, so we're gonna approach you. So I'm walking in. I've got my iPad. Hey, good morning. Happy Friday. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. How are you today?
Hanging in there. Oh man, I'm glad it's Friday. You sound a little under the weather. You feeling okay, man?
It's been a tough week. It's been a tough week, but yes, we're glad it's Friday.
It's been a week, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I love that lion behind you. Does that have some special meaning to you, or are you just like lions?
It's actually just part of the business. Lionheart Financial Group is our business here, and it's got some good meaning to my life and background and things like that. But yeah, I appreciate you asking.
Cool, man. That's cool. That's awesome. Well, hey, you probably wonder what I'm doing here. Well, I'm Maria with Family Heritage, and what was your name?
Brad
Brad.
Phillips. Yeah,
Nice to
nice to
meet
meet
you, Brad. Awesome. Well, hey, I was actually just on my way from talking with Sheriff Bridgers next door, and I hadn't had a chance to come in here and meet with you yet. So I work with a company called Family Heritage right here in Charlotte, and I'm just in charge of talking to all the businesses here in the area. In fact, I just got done meeting with, let's see, I don't know if you know Sarah. She owns the hair salon 2 doors down.
Yeah, she cuts my
And
hair once a week.
no way, once a week, man. You're a regular, that's for sure. And you probably know
Yeah, I'm
Tom.
overdue for one right now.
Really? You probably know Tommy, who, gosh, he's been the police chief for longer than I've been alive, quite frankly. So, he's a great guy.
Can everybody else still hear anything? My screen is frozen. Or
We can still hear. Keep going. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, good. By the way, Brad, are you from here originally? I don't know if he's frozen or what. Well, I'll just keep going. It's all good. So you might know some of our clients. Who do you recognize on here? So we've got Christopher and Amy over there at the EMS, and John Nichols. He runs Nichols Brothers, the car mechanic shop, or Jamie Howell over at Main Street Mechanics. Yeah, so they're all clients of ours. And sorry if I'm talking really fast. I just get a couple minutes. Do you have a place we can sit down? And then
Absolutely.
And then if he lets me sit down, we sit down and kind of go from there. Now,
y'all,
do you have
and
something to
also,
add, Brad?
yeah, sorry, my screen cut out there for a minute. I don't know what happened there. Y'all, if there's a seat, just sit down in it. Like seriously, if there's a chair right there, close it, like right in front of them or at their desk or something, just sit down in it. Yeah, it's just being assumptive, controlling the room. And just always remember, but y'all, the person who's asking the questions is the person who's controlling the conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is exactly why for the second approach, we answer it with a question, because whoever is asking the questions is controlling the conversation. When do we use the second approach? After any objection under the sun during the first approach. I'm busy, I'm not interested. Is this insurance? What are you selling? The sky is purple, whatever they think of that they can say. You're just gonna say, I get that a lot. Let me just ask you a question. If you got sick or hurt and couldn't work, you probably want some extra cash coming in, right? Enthusiastically nodding your head. Exactly. That's what everyone says. That's what I do. What are you doing? What are you selling? That's what I do. We just told them. My job is just to show it to you. We do work with several businesses in the area, such as the chief of police, the fire department, the refinery down the street, whatever. I'll just show you right here. I'll just give you the quick version right over here. So we're answering their question with a question to get them to think, hear you again. Because guys, sometimes when they give an objection, it's because they weren't paying attention during your approach. Because maybe you said things in a weird order, and the whole time you were talking, they were just like, wait, what company is that person with? And they weren't even hearing your approach. So the second approach, we're kind of just restating the first approach. And do not say, yep, this is supplemental insurance, because that just sounds not fun, quite frankly. If they know what that is, they're like, okay, I totally know what you're doing. I don't need to talk to you. And if they don't know what you're doing, that kind of sounds really boring. So instead of saying this is supplemental insurance, we're saying what supplemental can do for them, which is pay them cash directly when something bad happens. That sounds pretty good. They might be a little more open-minded to sitting down with us. And guys, the whole point is to show them what the product would do for them, not just say what it's called. Show, don't tell. Doesn't matter what they say, the second approach is going to always be the same. Your approaches should be in the same order every single time. Do not switch it up. Don't skip one. Don't pick which one you're going to do for which scenario. And you need to use the exact same approaches in the same order, because if you switch up your approaches, you're going to get different objections every time, and it's going to be a lot harder to overcome those objections. Some of the psychology of the body language. So when you get that objection, you got to step back and smile. Oh, hey, I get that a lot. A lot of people say the same thing, actually. And, nodding your head. You actually work with a couple businesses in the area, like a couple more names, and ask to show again, and be assumptive. Guys, we need to be assumptive with this. If we give people a way out, they will always take the way out because they don't know what they don't know. They don't know that what we do could be the difference between them losing their house. And it's a little soon to be saying something like that to them. We just need to know this in our hearts and then show them why that is the case. You could say something like, I'll just show you right here. Let me just give you the quick version right here. If there's a desk, just whip out your iPad and start showing them right there. You need to be assumptive and you need to whip out your iPad. You need to take motion.
But it's
And
also
then
just if you don't show it to people, you'll never get them protected. Nobody makes a sale in the approach by just talking about it. And it goes back to what Maria was just saying, y'all. It's owning what you do and understand how vital what we do is. That's why if I walk into a business, I'm going to walk in there like I own the place because I understand the value that I'm bringing into to that business owner and their employees. They just don't know it yet. Well, y'all, own it. Understand the value that you're bringing. We're the number one supplemental provider in the country. But if you don't show it to people, you'll never get those families protected. And that's the number one thing that should be on our forefront is, just getting to sit down so you can show it to them.
absolutely.
Sorry, Maria, just another quick plug there.
And guys, some people are going to still object after the second approach. And that's why we have a third approach, right? Don't be afraid. Don't be shy to use your third approach. Sometimes people just need a little bit more information in order to make a decision. Maybe you didn't sell them on the first or second approach, sell them on the sit down, and that's why we have a third one because we have another chance. It's not over. It's not done yet. We don't need to just walk away. So if they're still like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be interested. I'm busy. Yeah, whatever they say. I just don't think that's for me. I'm not the right person to talk to. You need to go to corporate or whatever they say. Hey, yeah, no big deal. You might like it, you might not. And just so I can give you a quick idea of what we do, which one of these would concern you the most? Cancer, heart attacks, or accident? And have your iPad out and ready to go. You already have it out because you showed the names list, but you need to just have the home screen up. Which of these would concern you the most? Why that one? You're still trying to get a demo, you guys. That is the point. Once we get the sit down, we would rather get a demo or an intro instead of just setting an appointment. Because at this point, they're not quite sure what it would be an appointment for. So that can sometimes be why those appointments don't show up. And I wanted to talk to you guys about the quick version, setting appointments, things like that. So when we say quick version, people always ask me in class, well, how can I say it's a quick version when demos are like 20 minutes? That's kind of a lie, isn't it? Right. Well, we're not saying we're going to do a full demo necessarily. When we say quick version, we just mean an intro. We're going to try and at least show them a couple important pages so they know what it is they're saying no to, so they know what it is that we do. And yeah, a whole demo might take 25 minutes, but if they see an intro, they'll kind of know, if we build the need, they'll know if it's for them or not at that point, but they don't know it yet just in the approach. We always want to get a full demo, you guys, because demos lead to families protected. Intros don't even count towards a 2 out of 3 day. But if it really isn't possible to get a demo, it's better to show, don't tell. So if you really only have a couple minutes to do a quick version, open up the iPad and show a couple slides. That's way better than just standing there and trying to explain it to them. And when you are setting an appointment, if you just set an appointment and they have zero idea of what's going on, sometimes people just set appointments because they think that, man, this salesperson is really persistent. That's the only way I can get them to go away is if I just say, yeah, come back on Saturday. And they're not even going to be here on Saturday. So if you've had a lot of appointments no show, chances are it's because they don't know you well enough to respect your time. They're not even sure what's going on to you. You're just another salesperson. So sometimes people just are kind of agreeing with that because they're too polite to tell you to get out of here, right? So the quick intro, that gives them enough information to decide if A, they want to set an appointment, or B, maybe they do want a full demo. Because guys, a lot of times when people say they're busy, they're not that busy. And they actually do have time for a quick 20-minute demo, and you can get them protected on the spot. But you don't know and they don't know until they know, right? So
And also, if you
that is
do a
kind
good
of
job in the introduction and really building the need for that person specifically, they'll let you do a full demo with them. I can't tell you how many times I've walked to a business over the last 7 years and walk in, and people are like, "Who the hell are you? What are you selling?" And I'm just like, I'm not here to sell you anything. I protect families out here. What do you mean by that? And I'm like, look, I can sit here all day and talk about it. I don't have time to do that. I know you don't want me to do that. I can just show it to you real quick and it'll make a lot more sense. So give me just a couple minutes. I'll explain it. It'll make a lot more sense. And if you're picking up what I'm putting down, great. And if not, I'm out of here. Is that fair enough?
yeah,
Cool.
it's literally that simple. Now, guys, I will tell you about, there is one more thing you can do. So kind of along the lines of what Brad is saying. So the fourth approach is kind of your last resort. Do not go from the first approach to the fourth approach, or this won't work. So this takes confidence to pull off, kind of like what Brad was saying. You need to be assumptive. You need to just open up the iPad and start doing it. And do not do this unless you have memorized the first, second, and third approaches. Otherwise, it gets messy and weird and you're going to get confused. So the point of this is to show the prospect what they need to know in order to either continue the demo or get interested enough to set an appointment. So just kind of the quick intro. Kyle, are you still recording the call?
Yes.
Do you mind pausing it real quick? Pausing the recording?